Hi everyone. So this is my first video, and so in this context I want to share about learning, right? And here I have a book. It's a physics book. So let's say this is an example here of being in school, but really in this example it's any information you have. It could be in a book form, it could be online. Basically everything you learn, right, in school or class, they give you a book for. Ideally, you're in a position where your school gives you a book for free that you can use, that you can borrow until the end of the year, and you give it back to them. Or you have to go to a bookstore and buy it, for your class. Or you have to go to a library and borrow it from there, or whatever it may be. Basically, start with something, right? You're learning something. So you have your book. And so we're talking about this context, learning from books. Now, for me, when I will learn something for for class, whenever or assignment, do something, that really the first point is to find somewhere where you can sit, where you are alone, where there's like a silence, quietness. And if you can't find that space inside your home, then you could maybe go somewhere like the park, or you go to a library, or some other place, even if it's a bathroom, some place where you're in that environment. Let's say it's a safe place for you to learn. So that's the first thing, to first find the environment, to find the space. And maybe you have to create it, you have to schedule it sometime or share it with someone. You find a way. So then the first step is your environment. You set up your environment for you to learn. And you want to set it up in such a way where, okay, you're here, you're ready to learn, you're ready to sit, you're ready to study. That's the first thing. The second thing is your subject matter, right? Let's say you're starting with this book. So the very first thing that you want to do is you go to your place of study. Let's say you sit down, you have your book in front of you. Now the very first question you can ask yourself, and you look within yourself for the answer. Do I have any resistance? Do I have any burdens within me? Do I have any resistance to learning this? Studying from this book. You can just hold the book with you. You hold it there, and you see if there's any memories coming up. There's any like resistance, any reason why you don't want to study. You first look at that. Whatever experience you have there in the very beginning while holding this book, while even before you start to read it, that's going to define your experience within studying. Where if you have resistance, if you have burdens, that's not going to allow you to process information, to remember it, to learn it. All those will be blockages. And so you won't be able to study, you won't be able to learn, you won't be able to do well. You'll be able to do something, you have like half awareness, right? You'll be aware of partially aware, but you won't be fully aware. And so you won't be able to fully learn. So the very first step is to clear that within you. To find that space within you where you're empty. You're just clear. Where you're able to sit with the book, be here, ready to study, and you're ready to go. That's the most important thing to learn. That's what's going to define whether you're going to be able to learn well or not. And that should be our focus in our first videos. It's just on that point. It's not about any other special techniques, about like reading or any other study tips. And I find that first setting up your environment as a reflection of who you are, as let's say that calmness, that clearness, that openness helps and supports that. So it's like try to find that silence within you. That's what's the most important step in learning anything. It's like being like empty cup. It's like being empty within you, and you're ready to fill yourself with new information, with new experiences. That's what it's like. And it's actually something you experience within your body. It's here. It's yourself. You're open, you're ready, you're willing, you're empty. You're ready to start. If you start with anything else, with an anger, frustration, irritation, or fear, or inferiority, or shame, or embarrassment, or think you're not good enough, or anything, that's going to define your experience. So you might as well not even study. You might as well just focus right now on clearing yourself. Learning this is the most fundamental thing to do for every single person. This is part of the fundamentals of learning, of learning how to learn. This is the very first point, and this is something that should be taught in all schools, by all teachers to all students entering school for their first year of their life. This should be the point, but it's not. And this has been the one thing that I've done throughout my life that has changed everything for me. I was able to go through high school and get straight A's in every single class. And I had this within me, the silence that I created that was here, where I can basically absorb information. I mean, and I've talked to people. When I ask people, like, okay, I remember a time in your life where you were just like empty within yourself, that you have learned information very easily and like absorb it. And then some people said, yeah, they could remember some moments in their life where learning was really easy, really natural. And this is what I'm trying to show. This is what I'm trying to create within you. I'm trying to show you this point so then you can look at it and actually create it within yourself. Create it within your space. And sometimes you have to find something outside of you that represents that. Perhaps it's like going for a walk in the park, or walk in nature. Sometimes that creates like a silence. So you can use that as a reference that you can create within when you're studying, right? Or maybe it's while being on the beach, listening to the ocean, or listening to the birds in the trees, or the swaying of the leaves in the air, and the wind. Or maybe, I don't know, you could try to find something within you, within your environment that represents that. That represents that calmness, that stillness, that openness, that here-ness, where it's just your body. And this is really the quickest and best way to learn, because information gets absorbed by you on a physical level, through your body. And once you're able to access this silence within you, you're able to work so much faster and do so much more. Now for me, this is something that I developed naturally, intuitively, in a way by accident. It's not something that someone taught me. No one told me this. And so for me, this is what I've done, and I want to share this. And so far in my life, I never met any other single person who has expressed what I've just expressed here today, and how to approach learning. So maybe this is something that can be revolutionary for people. So I would like feedback on this video, to hear people. They can have questions. You know, I'm going to continue writing or doing videos where I'll be basically guiding you step by step, trying to find a way on how to create the space within you. And yeah, some people may find meditation supportive. Other people may find exercise supportive. I did grow up within a family that, you know, taught me meditation and taught me yoga. So that might have assisted me, because within yoga I was very much more physical within my body. So I was very much paying attention to how information works on a physical level. I know, for like, a friend spoke about how, you know, taking a break while playing basketball supported him within studying, right? And so we can start with small steps, like when you start to study, when you're reading your book, that, you know, when you feel that frustration, you can take a break, right? You can take a break and do something that's very physical, like walking outside, or playing some physical game like a sport like basketball or something like that, you know. And you give that space within you where you try to find that, you know, that physicalness, that the stillness within you. And you know, this takes years to develop. You know, it's still worth it because you know this is going to change everything how you approach information. And then it becomes easy. So I'll end my video here for today. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.